Welcome to MediByte, your source for clear and credible health information. Today, we're exploring a pretty profound topic, and we're basing it on the groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score, by Dr. Bessel Kolk.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. We often think of trauma as a story, right? Something that happened in the past. But the reality is way more complex. This is the core idea. Trauma isn't just a memory. It's a physical imprint that changes how we experience the world, right here, right now.
And its impact is more widespread than you might think. Just to give you a sense of the scale here, 1 in 5 Americans was sexually molested as a child. And that's just one of many statistics that show just how common these experiences really are.
So how exactly does an event from the past leave such a lasting physical mark? Well, let's start with the basics of what's going on under the hood. After a traumatic event, the body can get stuck defending against a threat that belongs to the past. It fundamentally changes your nervous system. Think of it like a physiological recalibration of your brain's alarm system, which leads to this constant flood of stress hormones, and really gets in the way of your ability to feel fully alive in the present moment.
To really get a handle on this, we need to look at how your brain responds to stress. It's helpful to think of it as having 2 key parts, a smoke detector and a watchtower.
So these 2 parts of your brain are supposed to work together in balance to keep you both safe and rational. You've got the smoke detector, which is your amygdala or your emotional brain. It's always scanning for danger and ready to sound the alarm. Then you have the watchtower, the prefrontal cortex. That's your rational brain. It monitors what's going on and allows for calm, logical thought. It gives you context. But trauma, well, it throws that whole balance way off.
Now, what's really interesting is what happens in trauma. The smoke detector goes into absolute overdrive, while the watchtower can get knocked offline. In a traumatic flashback, you can actually see it on a brain scan. The amygdala, the emotional brain, just lights up, while the prefrontal cortex, the rational part, can just shut down. And that makes it pretty much impossible to think clearly.
This is exactly why just thinking your way out of it so often doesn't work. It also reveals 2 really distinct pathways for healing. There's top-down, which is using your mind to change your feelings, basically strengthening that watchtower. And then there's bottom-up, which means using your body's sensations to change your mind, recalibrating the smoke detector itself.
So the crucial point here is, if trauma is a physical state, the goal of recovery has to be physical too. It's really about moving from being just a passenger in a body that feels hijacked by past events to becoming the captain of your own ship again.
And this, of course, leads us to the most important question of all.
Let's move on and see how this builds. The book outlines several powerful pathways to achieve this.
You see, recovery isn't a single road, but it's a combination of approaches that can access the brain from both the top-down and the bottom-up. So you have your top-down methods, like talking and processing memories. You have medicine, which can help shut down those inappropriate alarm reactions. And then there's the bottom-up approach, allowing your body to have experiences that directly contradict those old feelings of helplessness and rage.
And for a lot of people, this bottom-up approach is the real missing piece of the puzzle, because healing the mind really does require befriending the body.
And this brilliantly illustrates why there are so many different and effective ways to heal. It is definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation. You have practices like mindfulness and yoga, therapies like EMDR and neurofeedback, and even things like communal rhythms and theater.
And practices like yoga, for example, have been shown to create measurable changes in the very brain circuits that trauma affects. I mean, look at this. After just 20 weeks of yoga, brain scans of traumatized women showed increased activation in key areas for self-awareness and self-regulation. Pretty amazing.
But across all of these different methods, there is one element that is the absolute foundation for any healing to take place, and that is feeling safe. Study after study shows that a good support network is the single most powerful protection against becoming traumatized in the first place. You see, recovery happens in the context of relationships where you feel heard, seen, and secure. It's a journey of reconnecting not just with yourself, but with other people too.
Ultimately, the path to healing is about acknowledging the deep wounds while also discovering the immense strength it took to survive. It's a journey back to yourself, and it really starts with listening.
Thank you so much for joining us for this MediByte Explainer. We really hope this gives you a clearer understanding of the path to healing from trauma.